Well, I'm still on the water and I just got done doing some ultralight fishing for bluegill. You might have seen that in my last video, but now I'm gonna switch it up. I'm going to this here Jackall Dera Break. It is a bladed jig. It's a 1/8 ounce bladed jig. I'm gonna throw it on this here BFS setup and we're gonna try to catch some bass with it. But you know what? There's a lot of lily pads, there's a lot of grass, there's a lot of vegetation, there's a lot of bass in here. So I'm gonna rig up a few other things as well and we're just gonna go with the flow. But the main thing is I wanna cover some water, catch some bass. If we catch some other species along the way, you know I'm never mad about that. Pike would be cool, crappie would be cool, whatever, you know, I'm good with whatever. I'm still on the water, my brain is barely functioning because I have limited sleep, but we're gonna go catch some more fish, so let's get to it. I guess this is kind of an unboxing. There you go. It took it out of the box. That's an unboxing. I'm not a big unboxing guy, so that's as good as you're gonna get here. There you go. That thing is honestly a super cool color. Don't know what to expect from it, but it looks really, really neat. And I have high hopes. Looks like a perfect little setup for a BFS rod. You might be wondering what trailer I'm gonna put on it. Well, I'm gonna put on this Kamikaze Swimon from Big Bite Baits. This was actually another bait that was given to the Aggressively Average Angler boys from one of their viewers. So thank you to that viewer. I cannot remember his name. Again, brain is not functioning, so I apologize. Either way, it's gonna look really good on this thing. Okay. Debo was fishing with this exact setup earlier. I don't know if he still is or not. I am a long ways away from those guys, but he was catching some fish. So I think we can get out there in the wind and throw it around the weed beds and we should be able to catch some fish. Man, that looks pretty darn juicy, I'm not gonna lie. Oh, baby. All right, we're gonna put it on this here BFS rod. Again, this is from my man Chris out in the Chicago land. Tell you what, he made that custom for me. That's a custom BFS rod. It's super cool. And it'll be perfect for this little bladed jig. I don't know the last time I caught a fish on a frog. Be kind of cool if I caught one today. Well, now I can at least say that I tried the frog. Man, I can cast this thing super far. This is great. This is like the perfect little size, little 1/8 ounce. That's just right for this setup. There's one. Oh yeah. Golly, is that fun. Look at that rod. Oh, oh man. Oh man, not a bad fish. He got an acrobat on our hands. Yes, sirree. This, my friends, is why I rigged this up, and this is why I wanted to switch, do something a little different. Here we go, jump. Oh, this is awesome. I probably need to loosen my drag just a hair. I want to make sure he can get some. I have 6-pound leader line on there. I don't want to go too crazy on this fish. Man, this is awesome. Little acrobat, he does not want to give up. There you go. There's that little tiny Jackall bait right there, right in the side of his mouth. Hooked him good. He jumped a few times, never came off. Awesome. That right there is fun. It's just like bass fishing, except everything's lighter. This little BFS stick is sick. This thing is just, it just doubles over when you get a good tug. Why is my braid wrapped around the tip? That is the question I have. What is happening right now? Why is my braid doing this? Okay, there we go. There we go. Just a little bit of line twist. We're good. And we're gonna be back in business in no time. There you go. Okay, that fish was on this little point, this little grassy point right here. So that's exactly where you'd expect him to be. Now the question is, does he have a buddy? Oh my gosh, I landed this on the top of a fish's face. Oh, he spit it. Dadgummit. That was so weird. I hit it. It hit the water and I was hooked up. There's one, right on the outside of the pads. There we go. What are you gonna be? There. Little jump, little jump, little head shake, little head shake. How big are you? It's so hard to tell with this rod that bends over so much. It's pretty good, I think. Oh yeah, there's the clicky drag. There you go. Gotta keep them away from them pads. Speak of the devil. Okay, there we go. Pretty good bass for this rod. Oh man, he's pretty good. Uh-oh. He wants to get down in that grass. There you go. Come back. Okay, he's gonna do one more jump. There you go. Nice bass. Man, that's fun. That is fun. There's one. He hit it a couple times before. Oh yeah, nice one, man. They're all respectable, especially for this little light rod. Oh no, he spit it. He spit it. Dadgummit. That fish was about the same size as the last one. Dang it. He nipped it twice before getting hooked. Okay, this is so much fun. This rod is absolutely wonderful. As far as what the specs are and everything, I don't think it has it on this, but it's like basically a 6'2", I want to say 6'3" rod when it's all said and done with the butt and everything. It's probably like a light power and probably more like a moderate fast action. Definitely very, very flexible, very noodly when you get a fish on, but not necessarily noodly when you're working a bait, which is nice. I'm definitely gonna use this rod primarily for moving baits, I would say. I don't know that I would love it for like working a jig or like a drop shot or something like that, but I think with like little micro chatterbaits, micro spinner baits, little crankbaits, little topwaters, I think it'll be just an absolutely fun stick, as you can see. I probably need to turn around and go back towards the other side of the lake. I keep going farther and farther from the ramp. I don't know how long the boys are planning to fish. I was thinking I'd fish close to sundown. We'll see. There's a fish. We'll see how much energy we have. All right, try to keep some tension on him and try to keep him from jumping. That last fish jumped and shook the hook. This one's gonna try again. There you go. This one's a little smaller than the last one, but again, look at that rod. I really like this action of this rod. The way it flexes, it's kind of, that little bit softer blank is just great for these little jigs like this. Chunky little bass like that. They come out and they mouth it and you just kind of, the rod just absorbs them and that hook gets good penetration and there you go. You're gonna miss some fish from time to time when you're fishing with lighter gear on bass, so 3 for 4 ain't bad. The other thing about this rod that's kind of cool is it's got the, I think they call it like acid wrapped guides. I don't know what they call it. Basically it's spiral wrapped. So at the tip of this rod, the guides are actually on the bottom like a spinning rod, and it's supposed to help with the line avoiding touching the blank of the rod when you're, you know, fighting a fish and when you're just like bearing some weight. So obviously this rod bends a lot on fish, and a lot of BFS guys really want to avoid their line. Oh my gosh, I made a long cast and I got one. Fortunately it's small. They want to avoid that line touching the blank of the rod, and so the spiral wrap is what supposedly helps with that. I don't have experience with it outside of this rod, so I can't really speak to it, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. So anyways, dinky bass, good times. Well, the smart move for me is to pedal and try to get closer to the ramp, because eventually I am gonna have to leave and I don't wanna keep working my way a long way away from my car. So I'm gonna try to catch up with Paul, Jeff, Debo. I don't know where they are. We totally separated. I've been catching fish, I'm sure they have too. This has been an absolute blast out here. I like this thing. I'm having a lot of fun with this thing, and I'm excited to catch more fish with this thing. I'm glad I made the change because I was having a lot of fun with the ultralight, but it was nice to just kind of mix it up, try something a little different, and this is really fun. That was weird. That fish bit really weird. I like popped it off some grass and dadgummit. I saw I just barely had him hooked. I popped it off some grass and he kind of grabbed it, but it just didn't really feel like a fish until he turned his head a little bit. There he is. This fish just short striked it a second ago and I missed him. And I cast it back up there, and what do you know? This is actually... Ah! There are such jumpers today. Oh, Oh, here we go. God, they like to jump today. Come up here, little guy. This is like perfect little fish for this rod right here. I don't know what I would do if I caught too many that were bigger than this on this rod, because this rod right here is definitely a light power. Oh man, he kind of choked that thing down. Ow! He shook and he went home. Bye bye, bass. There's one. Oof. Right outside them pads. Hammered it. Get out of there. Come on. He's behind something. Get up. Man, this fish is fighting hard. I don't even know how big it is. There you go. Ugh. Not all that big. But it feels big on this rod. That shallow vegetation he's just burying himself in. And there you go. Man, he fought hard for a little guy. What the heck? That fish was so weird. It's like I landed this thing right on his face. I never even reeled it. Never felt the pulse of the blade. It was just weight right off the bat. Fish just ate it right when it hit the water. That's a good cast. I gotta get rewarded there. Come on, come on, thump it. Thump it. He thumped it. He thumped it. I was gonna say that cast was just too good. Just too good. You gotta love it, folks. You gotta love it. He thumped it right where he should have, right on the corner of that dock. Again, healthy, chunky little bass, and he actually ate that pretty good. Got it down the throat a little bit. Barely hooked him though. I'm lucky to have caught that fish. Good thing I kept tension, bub. See ya, buddy. That fish was sitting right in here, probably right behind this motor, in between the motor and the dock. And I was able to kind of zip that through there. And I'll tell you, this rod right here, that's one thing that I like about it, is this, like that little sidearm cast where you kind of just roll the lure and zip it out there. I'm pretty darn accurate with it, and it's very comfortable and kind of fun to cast, I'm not gonna lie. Well, son of a gun, I turned off the camera for a split second and I got one right when my lure hit the water again. Some of these fish, I swear, I just landed on their nose and they just can't help but eat it. Oh no, dadgummit, when they jump, man, that's when they really decide they're gonna fling this hook out. Oh well, it's nice. Oh, I got thumped. Thump daddy-o. Holy smokes. I bet you guys saw that in my rod tip. Holy smokes. Chill out, little guy, little jabroni. Jeez Louise. What the heck? Look at this. Look at this. I did not even hook this fish. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? This is the weirdest thing. How in the heck did I land this fish? I gotta take a picture of that. This is bonkers. There's like this little hook thing. There's like this little clip thing on the top of this jig. And somehow it like went through this bass's nose and got clipped around itself. It's very weird. He did not get the hook. Somehow he got like clipped onto this bait. How does this physically happen? This is bizarre. How bizarre, how bizarre. See ya, bass. And another one. Don't you shake it, mister. Don't you shake it. Don't you do me like that. Whoa, look at you go. I don't think you're that big, are you? Jeez. When they turn their bodies and go under my kayak on this rod, it just bends it over. Look at that. He's got a mouthful. Not a big fish, not a big lure, and that's why it's a mouthful. Uh-oh, he's bleeding a little bit. Let's get him right back. Oh, he's fine. Just poked him a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go again. Why did you let it go? Because it bit my chatterbait. So, all right, absolute donkey mama. I'm losing my mind, folks. I honestly, I gotta say, I don't know if you could draw up better weather for kayak fishing. I don't know if you could draw up better weather. It is beautiful outside right now. The sun's getting lower. It's not quite as hot as it was before. It is dead calm out here. The birds are chirping. The trees are green, man. Beautiful time of year. Beautiful day to be on the water. And I'm tired, but I'm happy.